Hello Libra and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs looking at your connection to the person that you are connected to and needing to learn the most from right now. We're looking at all three sides of it. We've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. So looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle, this middle section really looking at what is the purpose of this connection, what is the best way to move forward in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. As always, I will be going through a different tarot deck for each side of the connection, but I've already pulled the overall energy and clarified that, which we'll jump into in a second. These energies can absolutely be swapped, so if you resonate more with the energy to my right than to my left, that is totally fine and totally normal. These are general readings. They are not going to resonate fully for everyone, so please do remember to take what resonates and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. And then if you're a cross watcher, you could end up resonating more with the energy to my left. So just take it as it resonates. All right, Libra. On your side of this connection, you have Shadow with the Nine of Swords. This connection has done some damage in your life. And I feel like specifically, the reasons why specifically is it has poked at some of your deepest fears, doubts, and insecurities when it comes to love, and brought those right to the surface. And I feel like in a way, this connection was built or put in your life to intentionally do that. Built, that's a weird word. It's like that was the purpose. That's what it feels like, is the purpose of this connection was to trigger you. The purpose of this connection is to trigger you. But I feel like obviously there's more to that. Like the reasons behind why it's triggering, I think we'll get to when we get to the truth of it. But then this person, their energy, or the overall kind of message about their energy is protection in the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. I feel, Libra, like you are being divinely protected from this person. I feel as if the universe is keeping you from them in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you're not, I don't know. I don't know if if this was rejection or if this person walked away and you wish they hadn't. I don't know. I don't necessarily know what's going on here. But whatever the case is, you are being divinely protected from this person because the universe is asking you to reevaluate their place in your life. Now, at the same time, it's interesting, and the messages are really interesting in the way they're coming through, because in the between this connection, you have growth with the Ten of Cups. And so what I'm getting at is the purpose of this connection, or what I'm feeling is the purpose of this connection was to bring your fears, doubts, and insecurities to the surface that have kept you from your Ten of Cups, so that the growth that you receive through this connection can lead you to your Ten of Cups. So I feel like this is all about you getting whatever it is that you want. Because that Ten of Cups, that's the long-term sustainable love that you're searching for in certain connections. And I feel like it's the reason you haven't received it in this one, or just in general, is because of this Nine of Swords. Because, if we don't heal our fears, doubts, and insecurities, and sometimes we don't even really know what our fears, doubts, and insecurities are until they're brought to the surface. But if we don't heal them, they will control us, and they will allow us to make decisions that align more with our fear and insecurity than align with what it is we actually want. And I feel like this connection in particular was put here to help you get very clear on what those fears, doubts, and insecurities are, so that you can no longer allow them to control you. Because remember, 95% of your movements, choices, and decisions is subconscious. Only 5% of the way you interact with your reality is conscious. So if you have subconscious fears, doubts, and insecurities that have been buried through, childhood trauma and just relationships in the past and things of that nature, well, then those fears, doubts, and insecurities are going to start controlling your life and your decision making without your knowledge. And so sometimes the universe puts people in our path to bring those to the surface so that we can heal them all at once. But that's why some connections can be a lot more painful than others. Libra's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Libra's side of this connection, please. Libra's side of this connection. Goodness. Okay. See, I feel like this is a connection and separation right now. You have the Nine of Cups in reverse and the Seven of Cups. This connection has been extremely emotionally overwhelming. Like, I feel like it has been so difficult for you to see clearly what's happening, or to understand what's happening, or to even like heal or move forward from it, because I feel like it completely, I don't know if it's like threw you for a loop, or if it just like kind of hit you all at once. I really feel like it turned your perspective. Like, if you were typically like a pretty positive, optimistic person, I feel like this connection kind of turned you a little bit more negative. It's like it made you cynical in a way. Um because of how it affected you. Because I feel like this connection affected you in a very major way. And I feel like it's been hard for you to fully recover from that. This is Libra's side of the connection. Libra's side of this connection, please. Okay. Three of Wands, Six of Cups in reverse, and Death in reverse. This connection, and I kind of felt this in the beginning, which is why I went on that spiel about the 95% of you. Because this connection has aligned with connections that live within your comfort zone. Now, connections that live in your comfort zone aren't even necessarily the connections that are like playing it safe. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. Your comfort zone is going to be the way that you are used to being treated, the way that you are used to receiving love. And if as a kid you were used to transactional love, or you were used to receiving bare minimum in love, or not feeling like your emotions or your needs were worth being heard or met, like your emotional needs and your, even physical needs were worth being met, then over time that's kind of just what you've learned is what love is. And so I feel like this connection aligned with the ways that you have always viewed and received love throughout your life. And that is why it brought so many of your fears, doubts, and insecurities to the surface, is because it was literally mirroring to you all of the times you ever felt unlovable, like at once. And so that's why I feel like it has been so challenging for you to be able to fully release yourself from this, even though it's like, that it doesn't make you feel good, but it's still difficult for you to let it go. The Libra side of this connection. This is Libra's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. I feel like that's why this connection has been so confusing. Knight of Wands in reverse, Tower in reverse. Okay, I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. I want to get a little bit more, see if I can get a little bit more on this message. No, that wasn't the one. Okay, sorry. Moon and the Magician. Okay, so this connection is like very important in your life, because whether or not you realized it, you've had a tendency to pick people in your life that align more with your fear than align with your Ten of Cups, with this abundance. And I saw the Ten of Cups around here somewhere. It might have been when the it was when the Knight of Wands and the Tower in reverse came out. So what I mean by that is, and just as an example, oftentimes when we fear being alone, we choose people. We choose to stay and accept certain people into our life, even though those people don't really align with what we know we are truly deserving of, because we don't believe that what we're truly deserving of is ever going to manifest. And so we make these decisions to allow people to treat us poorly because we think that if those people, could love us or could finally treat us right, well, then we know that we'd be safe and we know that we'd be loved. Because our fear ultimately is not being loved, not having the love that you desire or deserve. And so this connection, it aligned more with your fear, because you have the moon and the 9 of swords. So that's two cards that can speak of fear here. This connection aligned more with your fear of not having what it is that you want, instead of actually aligning with the connection that made you feel the most, not the connection that gave you emotional highs. That those connections can often align with our fear, the emotional highs you feel, the almost intoxicating kind of energy. That could have very well been this connection, but the 10 of Cups kind of connection is one that is safe and secure and doesn't set you into survival mode every other day or week. And I feel like this connection aligned more with what you feared not having than it did what you actually feared having. And honestly, Libra, I don't even know if you're fully aware of that. So let me get more. This is for Libra's side of this connection. Libra's side of this connection, please. Because this connection required you to chase. You had to give so much of yourself in this connection in order to receive the bare minimum, like a very little part back. But Libra, I feel like that's what you're used to. I feel like your whole life, when it comes to love, it has been giving more and more and more just to receive like the bare minimum. And I feel like this connection aligned more with that bare minimum love, because to you, having the bare minimum was better than having nothing at all. But that actually kept you stuck in believing that the bare minimum is all you deserve. And that could not be further from the truth. So I feel like there is a greater lesson here that is trying to come through. And part of the reason why you've been so stuck on this connection and having a hard time moving forward is because that greater lesson hasn't been fully internalized. This is Libra's side of this connection. Yeah, because you are stuck on it. 6 of Swords in reverse. I mean, this is literally stuck on what doesn't serve you anymore. I feel like, well, actually, I want a little bit more on this. 6 of Swords in reverse, clarifying the 6 of Swords in reverse. Ooh, Libra, this is a hard truth. And I'm going to need you to bear with me through this because I think it's so important that you know this. You love the idea of this person more than you fully, truly love this person. You love the idea of what you believe, of the person that you believe you could be, and the life that you believe you could have, and the way that you believe you could feel if this person loved you back. Now, that is so common. When we fall in love with the idea of someone, oftentimes we're falling in love with the potential of someone. We're saying that that person becomes our idealized, view of love, and it's, oh, this person, this person and I could be perfect. And then if it were to ever actually happen the way that you wanted it to, you'd realize this person isn't perfect, because no one's perfect. And there's this need to step outside of that belief. And this could have been a past belief. This could have been a belief that you had before and you've come to terms with it since. Because what I'm getting at, or what I'm getting through this and both getting at as well, is that you want this 10 of cups. You want this 10 of cups. Everybody does, right? Everybody, whether or not they want to admit it, wants that partnership, wants that love, wants that unconditional, sustainable love. And you're looking for that. And this person, you felt like this person could really be that for you because they reflected back, going back to what I said earlier, they reflected back all of the ways you ever felt unlovable. So all of the reasons that you carry inside of you that you feel you are unlovable, this person reflected back at you. And in your mind and in your subconscious, you said, if this person can love me, if this person who is the reflection of all the people who have made me feel unlovable, what that would mean is all of those people that ever made me feel unlovable would love me. Like, that's the energy that you're looking for, right? You're looking for the love of the people that made you feel unlovable through this connection. And the reason that you've done that is because your fears, your very specific fears, doubts, and insecurities were brought to the surface in this connection. Interesting. Now bear with me, because I do really believe, and I've been there before. And I feel like that's why you're being divinely protected from this person, is that I don't feel like this person is actually going to be able to give you your 10 of cups. I feel like they, because no one can make us feel lovable. We have to make ourselves feel lovable, and then the people in our life reflect us back to us. This is Libra's side of this connection. But I'm just trying to help, because like there might be a couple Libras here who are like, I want to move on from this but can't. Or I want this to be, out of my energy. I want to move forward but can't. And so my goal is to help you understand why, why you're still connected to this and what lesson is needing to be fully internalized. So there is a separation here, and it could have been from a earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. But this separation, it took place for a reason. Yeah. See, because this King of Pentacles, which is alluding to this person, it doesn't have to be an earth sign, but it's alluding to this person. They're a blockage to you. They're not the source of your 10 of cups. They're a blockage to your 10 of cups. Because we accept what we think we deserve. And when we accept below what we deserve, what we're telling the universe is, this is all I deserve. And the universe is like, are you sure? Like, there's something better for you out there. And you're like, no, this is all I deserve. Because part of you doesn't believe, and maybe even most of you doesn't believe, that something better for you is available. I get comments on my channel all the time. I see them literally like at least once a week. Someone saying, I've just come to terms with the fact that like the love that I'm deserving of isn't meant for me in this lifetime. Don't come to terms with that fact, because if you believe that, then that is what you're going to experience. The love that you deserve is absolutely out there. But the thing is, the love that you deserve isn't going to make you feel lovable. You find that love for yourself and you learn what you are deserving of, you will find what it is that reflects that back at you. Because right now, your fears, doubts, and insecurities are being reflected back at you. And you deserve to have, the love that you're wanting reflected back. But let's take a look at this person. This person has protection with the 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Is this person's energy toward Libra, please? The person that Libra is dealing with, energy toward Libra. This person's energy toward Libra, please. Woo! They betrayed you. Okay. 10 of Swords, King of Swords, 3 of Swords. There's a betrayal here. Betrayal, abandonment. they know they hurt you. They know that. I don't know if it's something they're willing to fully admit to themselves or not, but they know that they hurt you. Because this Ten of Swords, this is not the way they feel. Now, they could have experienced this in the past and then, hurt people, right? But they know they hurt you. But here's that Three of Wands in reverse. This kind of pain that this person brought into your life, I feel like at this point, it was almost like predictable for you. Like you're like, yeah, that makes sense because of what you've experienced in love. I do really truly feel, and you could be dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, you're an air sign. You don't have to be. I just call them out as I see them. Because there's the King of Cups. So that would make for like 3 of the elements, because that would be Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But I feel like they're fully aware that they hurt you. But I don't know. That's not what I want to take, actually. I want to take that. Get more, because this King of Swords I actually feel is alluding to you. I feel like it's alluding to you. All right, more for this person's energy toward Libra. This person's energy toward Libra, please. Hurt people, hurt people. It's exactly what it is, because they have the Strength in reverse with the Two of Swords. Okay. They don't have much faith in themselves and their ability to sustain the Ten of Cups. And so I feel like all of their decisions towards you aligned with their lack of belief that they were capable of the Ten of Cups, but that reflected back at you all of the ways that you felt you were undeserving or incapable of the Ten of Cups. It's really interesting because I do feel like this is a very mirrored connection. I feel like their actions of not feeling good enough reflected back to you not feeling good enough or you not being good enough. This person's energy toward Libra. This person's energy toward Libra, please. Hang on. Clarifying the Temperance in reverse with the Three of Swords. Clarifying this Temperance in reverse with the Three of Swords. Okay, see, the first thing that came out was this Temperance in reverse and this Three of Swords, right? And I was like, they're frustrated that you're hurt. But that's why I clarified it, because then you have the Eight of Cups. I feel like they're frustrated that they hurt you. If I'm being honest, Libra, I don't really think that they meant to. Like, I don't think it was their intention going into this to hurt you. I really feel like they weren't in a place and aren't in a place to be able to be in a healthy connection. And their actions affected you in pretty major ways now, but like I don't feel like they meant to hurt you. Because it's almost like the way that this affected you affected them, because it's almost like they reflected to you that their movement choices and decisions reflected to you that you weren't good enough. But then your movement choices and decisions reflected to them that they weren't good enough. Like I don't know, in some way, not that you should have said or shown them that they were good enough. That's not what I'm saying. You did nothing wrong. I'm just saying, like, if someone feels like they're incapable of love, of sustaining a loving connection, and they hurt someone, they're going to go, see, like, I told you so. I told you I'm not capable of sustaining love. Like, those people that, like, and hopefully don't use it as an excuse, but some people, like, before you get into a connection with them, will be like I'm not in a place where I want like something serious or something like this, and then they almost use that as an excuse to treat you like shit down the line. Like, it's almost like they know that they're not in a place to be in a healthy connection, but like they tried anyway, and then that in turn hurt you, which hurt them. And I just feel like it's this spiral of not so good stuff. This person's energy toward Libra. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Same as that one with the World. There's a cycle happening here for both of you. Both of the people in this connection have a tendency to sabotage themselves when it comes to love. For you, Libra, I feel like you have a tendency to accept less than what you're deserving of. And for this person, I feel like they have a tendency to treat people. It's sabotaging in different ways. You have a tendency to sabotage yourself by allowing mistreatment, and this person has a tendency to sabotage by mistreating. I just feel like they're kind of a lost soul. But I feel like they were really put here to help you see how you've been choosing situations from your fear, doubt, and insecurity, how you haven't been standing up for yourself or choosing better for yourself or something, so that you could, moving forward, align more with your Ten of Cups than with your fear. This person's energy toward Libra. They're not handling this in a healthy way. So, for instance, if this was a separation and they moved on to someone else, or they, are acting like they're totally fine, it's not that they are. It's that they don't know how to face uncomfortable emotions and don't, because, this created or brought to the surface fears, doubts, and insecurities for both people, right? Now, the way that you handle that is going to determine, how, like, what your future looks like, what your next connection looks like. If you don't work through the fear, doubt, and insecurity that this connection brought to the surface, the next connection that you're in is probably going to repeat those lessons. If you do handle it and you heal it and move forward, then you're going to align more with your Ten of Cups than you ever have. So I don't feel like they're handling this well. I feel like they're actually very much distracting themselves from it. And that there's nothing, I mean, nothing you can control. But I also feel like that's why you're being protected from them, is because this person isn't at a place where they can love you the way that you deserve to be loved, Libra. This person's energy toward Libra. Is this upright? Justice in reverse, Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and High Priestess. Their higher self is trying to get them to take accountability. But it's like they know they hurt you, but it's almost like they blame you in a way. Not that it is your fault. Because like when someone, like, think, and this is kind of bordering like an abusive connection. Not what I'm pulling, but this example. But like if someone says something that hurts you and you say, hey, that hurt me, they can go, I know I hurt you, but you're being really sensitive. Like it's like they can recognize they know they hurt you, but like they're blaming you at the same time, which when anyone ever tells you like you're being too sensitive or I didn't hurt you, you're just like you're just not strong enough to handle it. That is abuse. Like don't let other people talk you into how you should feel. But what I'm getting at is I feel like they can recognize that they hurt you, but they're not taking accountability for the ways that they need to change so that they stop hurting other people. Because I feel like it's like, oh, this is just a one-time thing. But I can promise you, if this person moves on to someone new and has the same insecurities, doubts, and fears that are controlling them, they're going to do the exact same thing to every single person until they decide to heal. So if there is like a third party or something like that, I'm not saying there is. If there is, you already know about it. Then know that this person, it has nothing to do with you. It's this person looking for a distraction, looking for the next person to control and to help them through their fears, doubts, and insecurities as well. And I can say all of these things confidently because I've been on both sides. I've been both the person that treated people pretty poorly, and I've been on the side of being treated pretty poorly. And the reason for both was that I did not feel deserving of love, and I did not know how to love. And I wanted to be loved, but I didn't know how, so I pushed people away in different ways. So, I mean, I've had to do a lot of healing since then. But I can be very, I can understand this person, I can have empathy for them, but that doesn't mean that you have to tolerate them, right? Like, who knows how long it's going to take for this person to decide that they need to heal? Who knows how long it's going to take for them to take accountability? You do not deserve to wait for anybody to take accountability in order for you to heal and move on. And I feel like that's why this whole reading is basically trying to point you to see that the reason that there is such an attachment here, that you feel so stuck on this person, is because they literally are the reflection of every single way you've ever felt unlovable. And the reason that they've made you feel so unlovable is because they're not only, making you feel unlovable now, but they're triggering past times where you felt unlovable and unsafe in connections. And so there's something so much deeper going on here, and there's a need to get to the bottom of that. All right, we're going to hop on over to the extended. In between this connection, you have growth with the 10 of Cups. I'm going to pull 9 different messages, and then I have an advice card to pull at the end. Thank you so much, Libra, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Libra.